everybody, just calm down.
Girl, just calm down.
Never had.
Oh.
Never had. Never had.
Hey guys, welcome to the Everybody Just Calm Down the podcast. I am your boy Po Theory.
I'm Jared.
And I'm Shamina.
And we are here to review the Real Housewives of Atlanta season 16, episode 17, which is the finale. I cannot believe we're here already. Like, that's crazy.
You think so? I feel
What'd
the
you
opposite.
say?
I feel like this season, I feel like this show been on forever.
You think? Really?
Really?
Yes. If you go all the way back to to Shamea's birthday party, like that feels like it was so long ago.
This is fair.
It's also too because we feel completely different about Shamea from the first part to the last.
Oh, yeah.
To now.
Yeah. Well,
So it's like a full journey of dislike. But before we get into the episode, how's everyone doing? How was everyone's weekend?
Mine was uneventful.
Was
except
it?
for
What did you do this weekend, Jared?
I went to an event on Friday called Party with a Housewife. And,
Oh, wow.
And I partied with a housewife and met a legend, my favorite, Miss Teresa. Yes.
Big Tree.
I know. Pay for the VIP meet and great. Got what I needed.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah. She was exactly what the people say. She was super sweet. In typical Teresa fashion, she said the podcast name wrong like 3 times.
Yeah.
She kept allowing me to correct her until she got it right.
I love it.
Yeah.
To be fair, the way she was saying it would be hard to say.
Yeah.
So like she said, she's telling everybody to watch everybody just
Yeah.
calm down.
Okay. Everybody watch. Everybody just calm down.
Yeah, she was super sweet to us. She got on the stage and we played some games. She answered questions. She threw some shade here and there. It was a fun event though.
Love that.
I was just so gagged with I was in the grocery store, literally in the grocery
Gagged.
store, and was gagged. I was like, what the
Well, you know
that
what?
was
You know
crazy.
why we were gagged? Because it was the way he dangled that carrot in front of us.
So I didn't mean to dangle it for that long, but the problem was it was taking Desmond a minute to send me the video from his phone.
Well, let's hope that that legend gets us well over to 1,000 before not before the end of the month. We're tomorrow's
Yeah.
July.
Tomorrow's
But I mean, she can do it.
She actually
She
did.
posted that everywhere.
Yeah.
Link is in the bios.
Absolutely. Love you, Tree.
Yes.
Love, love, love.
Love, mwah.
Jersey, period.
Facts. So we start the episode off with Porsha and Lauren arriving at Phaedra's, and Phaedra opens the door with her burial bob.
That was a burial bob.
That was that was a shake and go.
Why do I feel like we get a new Bob every episode from somebody?
People have been bobbing around.
They have been bobbing around. Oh, they have. But that
They
one
have
was
really.
that one gave funeral director.
No, 100%.
Yeah.
Porsha lets us know that her and her family are going through a lot. We find out that Lauren was on the phone with Londi when she passed away. That has to be a lot. I just the way my brain works, I'm sitting here trying to figure out how did that happen? Were you just talking to her regularly and it happened?
And she
Did
just
she call you?
Yeah.
'Cause, I've always found that interesting. Oh my God, what the
What?
when I was with Broken Home. Guys, I really be trying not to, but I have a lot of life experience with him.
I'm going to hang myself with Shamea necktie.
I must say, you need to go see Angela's white therapist.
No, but what I was saying is that I remember he would tell me stories about people that would be in distress, and instead of calling 911, they would call the person that was closest to them or someone that they cared about. It's like, but they can't help you. Call 911.
Right.
And so hearing so many stories like that, I was just very curious to know, did she call Lauren to help her, or was she just on the phone talking, kikiing, and then
Because we never really found out what type of sickness that was, right? We could never
the
confirm
way it sounds
that.
like it could have been a stroke or a heart attack. That's what it sounds like.
Like in her sleep kind of thing, right?
No, she was on the phone, girl. So why was she
Well,
be
I'm
in
saying
sleep?
laying down and then slowly drifting off.
But she
That's
was on
what
the
I
phone,
mean.
Danielle.
Until she wasn't.
What?
What?
She could have drifted away.
Well, she did
Okay.
drift away.
Well, she did drift away. Rest in peace.
Okay, let's please. It's so we find out that Phaedra is helping with all the services, and Phaedra in her confessional basically says that she is on the usher board to heaven. And what gags me about that is because if you are the bouncer to heaven, the admission fee is very low. Everyone's getting in. I'm sorry, like that. It's just like, do you want us to fry you when you say things like that?
I want them to stop playing with God. That's what I want them to stop doing. Because you ain't going nowhere lying like that at the pearly gates. Because how are you on the usher? First of all, you ain't there yet. You trying to go meet the Lord now?
Ugh. Especially like when you're in a funeral business.
Mm-mm.
Like who? I ain't even gonna go there. But yeah, thieves. I'll just say that much. And so then we move on. They should not cost that much money to put somebody in the ground. It just honestly shouldn't.
Yeah, fair.
Like it's just
when
ridiculous.
you start doing satin pillows and like that, I mean, yeah, it's very expensive.
And
I'm putting this on record.
You see what I'm saying?
This is going on record. By the way, when they talked about the butterflies, I immediately thought about Drag Race.
Oh,
when Porsha was like, "Are they humanely released?" I'm like, "No, she was on Drag Race. Put me in the ground in a cedar box and take all the money for yourself." That I just see no point in spending all that money on a funeral. That is crazy. But anywho, we move on to Angela and her therapist, and what I want to say about Angela's journey on this show. Not only is she a great housewife, if not the best housewife of this season on Real Housewives of Atlanta, it's almost as if she is being produced by someone of yesteryear. Because the fact that Angela's story, it has not been the forefront, but it peaks, it ebbs and flows. We haven't gotten irritated by Angela's storyline. Because it's like sometimes it's the A story and sometimes it's the B story. But she's always there in the background. We're always looking for Angela. And I think her getting to this place where it's like in this episode where she's talking to her therapist and literally putting a bow on everything that we've seen of her story. It was just masterful to me. It gave us back to the yesteryear of like when we were introduced to new therapists and things like that, when they were talking to them, talking to their different therapists and stuff like that. I just think just chef's kiss. This was just Angela's that girl. Thoughts?
No, I agree. That was my one note about this scene was just like the fact that Angela just put it all out there this whole season. And it just comes off like authentic. Like she's not doing it just for a moment, just for a storyline. Like Brit, for example, she tried to do what we would call a personal storyline, but all the scenes felt so set up and staged all the time. But just like there's just something that felt off about it. Whereas Angela, she just talks very naturally and very honestly about what exactly is going on in her life. And I'm also glad that we got a new therapist and not these reality TV therapists. Like, I gag every time I see Dr. Ken pop up on the screen. Like,
I know.
Yeah,
I know.
I mean, the attorneys too. Yeah, can we get a new attorney?
Right.
Like, we don't need to keep saying Mr. Kessler every time.
Right. No, that's fair. That's fair. No, I can agree with that. I was a little shocked at the therapist overall, like them showing her. Okay. Well, I wasn't expecting a like Miss Frizzle type.
Yeah, it's like, how you get this woman?
So that's what I was like. How did you find her? Like, did you really research? Number one, the appearance shocked me by her being a white woman first, and then just the overall like appearance. She started speaking. I was like, okay, fine, but I'm also not the one. Therapy. I tried it once. It didn't work for me. So yeah,
you might need to go
you
there.
probably should have kept going.
Yeah, you might.
Oh no, I didn't like. I didn't like where the conversation was going.
Which is probably why you should have kept going.
Well, I didn't like the conversation. It was very weird. It was like she wanted me to be like terrible, and I was like, no, I'm fine.
Says a lot. You should give her 5 stars.
Oh, negative.
Anywho, y'all already know me. Power to the people, black folk, black folk. But then I had to realize that I would be a hypocrite because I was like, why they got a white woman therapist? But then I realized I have a white woman therapist. Totally forgot that I had a white woman therapist. Yeah, I do. But let me tell you why I have a white woman therapist. A lot of my trauma and things that I need to unpack are, and this is still some work that I have to do, where I realize that the reason that I want to go to a white woman therapist and not a black woman therapist, because I would never go to a black male therapist. I just wouldn't. But the reason I did not choose to go to a black woman therapist was because a lot of my trauma is rooted from a black woman.
That's why I said it didn't work.
And I felt very uncomfortable. What at that time was what I felt would be dogging out a black woman to another black woman. I feel like she would judge me. That's fair. So I felt like it would be easier and I wouldn't have to think about, is this black lady therapist judging me saying I'm a horrible son for feeling this way about my mother? Right. So it was like, it's easy. Let me just go to a white woman because I just say it. Because honestly, I just want your professional opinion. I don't care if you're judging me.
Yeah, I don't care. You're white.
I know that sounds horrible, but that's literally what helped me.
Not
so I was like, maybe that's why they went there. And she also was good. She was asking the pertinent questions. She was breaking it down.
Once she started, her appearance shocks me because I just wasn't expecting her. And then she started speaking. I was like, oh, okay, no, this makes sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so then we move on to probably Jared's favorite part of the show, which was Shamea's showcase. Mm-hmm. Did you enjoy it, Jared?
Why was it so long? Why did she have so many outfit changes? What
was the budget was budgeting, okay?
You thought the budget was budgeting?
She had to bring an entire production. I'm talking about overall and what that costs to have that. And I hate calling people's accomplishments or achievements little, but to have that showcase, that wasn't pennies and you just calling your cousin to help you set up some lights real quick. No, she hired dancers. She rented out an entire showroom, an entire theater. She had production to set that up. That was a couple dollars.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
But it could have been spent in better ways.
Of course it did. I actually had to remind myself when I went down the rabbit hole of RL and when was the last time he had a hit? And it was 2007, Deborah Cox. Nothing.
Well, sweetie, hold on now. See, here she goes again. Look up what he's written. Look up what he's produced.
No. I just said I'm not discrediting him at all. What I'm saying is I wanted to know what was the last record he produced. And
it wasn't that.
He was last active in 2007, Aaron. He has nothing.
Girl, that is not true.
He's eating off of all his royalties. That's what I'm saying. Something wrong with that. He hasn't put out anything. All of those tracks sounded like little old tracks that he didn't use, and he gave them to Shamea.
Well, yeah, because she's not a big star. That's what he's going to do.
He has not.
RL, go ahead.
Hasn't done anything in almost 20 years.
Danielle, that's not true, sweets.
What was the last song, sweetie?
You said, what was it? What was the year?
It was like 2007, something like that.
Deborah Cox.
Exactly.
No, it's not Deborah Cox.
Sweetie, it was, bitch, it's not before 2010, I'm telling you. So again, not
in the comments, I need y'all to look it up because I'm not about to. Actually, I'm going to put this shit in post and I'm going to do a voiceover like, that bitch was wrong, y'all. Okay. I'm going to find it, goddammit.
Okay, I'm just, again, we love you, RL.
Go ahead. RL been fine all his life.
He is fine though. He looks better older now too, actually, to be honest with you.
You know, I told you he got that voice like Dr. Greg. He got a very dainty voice.
Dainty voice. He
got a very dainty voice.
I don't like. But
go ahead.
Jared, did you enjoy Shamea's performance?
No.
When I was shy, I came up there.
No. I didn't enjoy any of it. Yeah. I would have been like Cynthia and left before the show started, time I got a plane to catch.
Now, why did Cynthia come in? By the time Angela got there, she never saw Cynthia.
Cynthia was gone.
She was in the wind, sweetie. She was on the runway already.
Now, let me say this. Speaking of Shia, I'm really okay with Shamea not coming back next season. But if she does come back next season, I don't want nobody to say, I want to see her husband. I don't know if y'all picked up on this or caught this, because I love the little minute things. When he was backstage, first of all, he was extremely awkward. There we go. All this smoke y'all got for Charles, have that for that man. Don't have it for Charles. If y'all say Charles doesn't want to participate, what is that? That man said, Shamea said, oh my God, Shia said she's going to get on stage. And he says, oh, Shia?
Your daughter. Yeah.
That was it. That was it. Your daughter just said that she want to be Blue Ivy #2, and your response is, "Oh, Shia, that's our daughter." That's it. That's all what was said. It was like, okay, all right.
But that was the thing.
But I will say
her
this.
and,
Go ahead.
That was the thing with. That's why
Say
Shamea
that
was
again?
never. That was the thing with her and him, was that's why Shamea wasn't full time before. It's because he didn't want to do it.
He didn't want to do it.
Yeah, but be all the way in or all the way out.
Right.
I think he just giving. Yeah, he's like, I'm gonna give y'all 2 scenes a season, and
be on
you'll
see that you'll see that I'm still present, but I don't want to be a part of this.
But I'm even paying attention to how they even like the FaceTime calls. I don't even think that he knows that he's on FaceTime when she like all those FaceTime calls that were happening until he had to sign that release. I don't think he even realized that, because the way she was just it's just I'll save it for when we do Who Needs to Calm Down, because
they said that the people been saying Trouble in Paradise for years. They look happy.
I actually don't think they have an issue. I don't think they have an issue.
I do not think they have an issue. I think that they're a regular married couple. They've been married for 10 years, and he doesn't want to.
I think that's the one. Yeah, I agree with that. But I will say this: anytime there's a many things that I'm confident about. One thing that I'm not the most confident about is singing. I can sing. Feel very uncomfortable doing it.
do you?
I will never, huh?
I said, do you? I'm like, you do it on this podcast all the time.
You do.
I'm joking, but that's not really singing. Like, I'm not singing for real. Like, I'm not giving y'all.
It's Shamea?
I'm not Shameaing and trying to let y'all know. Did you know I could sing? Did you know? Did you hear that note like that?
And did you hear that note?
But so I won't knock her in terms of her pursuing her dream and getting on stage and doing that, because that's something that's like, good job, Shamea.
Yeah,
but if you're going to do it, because I feel like just another editing thing that I picked up on. Do you notice when she was giving the direction to the background singers and they cut out the sound? Because she was like, when she was trying to give them a note and then she was trying to get them to harmonize, and she kept saying, it doesn't seem like she knows the correct verbiage to say how to like harmonize. And
she was trying to be a choir director too. And again, when you don't know the notions, you're just putting your hands in the air doing this. It doesn't really track. Right. It doesn't really doesn't mean anything.
But congratulations.
Yeah.
You did a showcase.
You did a showcase.
I will say this. I am here for Drew throwing shade at Shamea.
Oh yeah.
I saw a lot of people on the interweb saying, Drew, you doing a lot. Why are you being so nasty to Shamea? No, she deserves to be nasty to Shamea. I was here for every bit of her throwing shade. I actually enjoyed it.
She was nasty to that lady the whole season.
And it wasn't even like bad. It was like fun shade. Like, she didn't say nothing off the wall.
It was. Yeah. It was very fun shade. But it gags me though, because it's like we are now at this place of starting off with us like, okay, Shamea might actually be da-da-da-da-da. And that's like, oh, Drew, she's here.
Right.
And it is literally with like, like we have more positive things to say about Drew than we do about Shamea. That's how it started off.
I think what made it funny is that Drew is an actual singer, and her album was currently out at the time. Or was it out at the time of filming? Yeah,
it wasn't out yet.
It wasn't out.
It wasn't out yet. It came out since we've been watching.
Since we've been watching it. But she had an album she had an album in the works at that time, and it was a banger.
It's really good music.
Yeah, no, it's good. No, it's good.
I was shocked. Then we transitioned to Backstage, and that's where all the girls are meeting up and all this stuff. I will say this. nothing made me more mad than that Shamea outfit she had backstage. You cannot have a top that is executed so properly with those rainbow city trends pleather shorts. Danielle, what was that? Danielle, do you know how gaggy that top was? That jacket she had on was gaggy. And then you gonna do that? You gonna wear that? Like, who's in charge of the girls?
And then she had my mother's readers on that transition into sunglasses. That pissed me off more than anything. I was like, well, now what the hell is she doing here?
I really, again, last episode, when you let us know that she was so bothered that I've never used her glam, certain things you just don't need to clear up because you need to use them.
Yeah.
Because that is crazy to me that she would wear that. Like, you don't have a home?
All that
like,
budget.
I don't get it.
All that budget.
God. How dreadful.
Yeah.
Can you imagine her going into her closet and getting on the elevator and just to go pull out them shorts?
Just to pull, right? To get on the elevator to your closet, literally, like, I'm wearing this. This gonna drop them dead. This gonna kill them.
Like, but how do you as my common theme when it comes to fashion, I'm always going to say balance. How do you have a top that is that phenomenal? And that would literally be like me putting on a blazer with a crisp tuxedo shirt with some basketball shorts. That's what that is.
Well, yeah. Well, you know, the girls don't know that they have one piece, but they don't know how to surround the outfit around the piece. So you know that. So I mean, come on,
it's a mess.
That's a different show.
And so Angela brings up her gala that feeds the community, and it's essentially what is the Oakley?
The Charles Oakley Foundation.
Yes, the Charles Oakley Foundation. And we find out it's been running since 2017. Kelly suggests that they should post on their Instagram. And Drew asked her, how many followers do you have? And Kelly says, I have 150K. And then Brit says, they're fake followers. Now, real quick, before we go on, Jared, I have to apologize to you. Actually, I don't want. I'll wait because it'll make more sense if I apologize to you later on.
Okay.
No, I just thought it was really funny. I was like, Brit, you didn't even give that girl a chance to even say anything. She just that rolled off her tongue.
Brit prematurely sued the girls. I wish she would have waited. Because this second half of the season is really shaping up for her to be a good housewife. Like, what the?
Yeah. Yeah.
Let the process play out, sis.
Yeah.
Who would have thought? We've had multiple episodes of us saying, "Is she doing well?" Like, Brit's,
she doing.
doing well. Wait, did Brit eat that argument up? Did she just? Did she just eat the girls alive? Wait,
no.
It's jarring. Like it's
because Shamea can't take her at all.
And we'll never get her back.
Shamea cannot take her.
Shamea can't take Brit at all.
It's
Miss
so
Mama,
weird.
Brit, they're going back and forth. Kelly throws more shade. Kelly says, well, it's crazy that people just be watching my follower account, and then Brit comes right back and says, well, we were close, so of course I'm paying attention to what you're doing. Such an artful response. Well, it disarms you. It disarms the audience to say, well, of course I was paying attention to you. Right. You're my friend. Not a lot of people would admit that when you are going back and forth because you feel like you're giving them something. And she just completely disarms them with that. I was just like, ugh, chef's kiss. But then Kelly throws more shade by saying, well, if you want us to donate, make sure you put a dollar figure on it because some people don't understand it. And if you notice, the camera cuts to Brit and Brit has nothing to say.
Right.
Now, I want to put a pin in that. So let's jump to when Shamea and Brit are going back and forth. So everyone leaves. Brit hangs back. First thing out of Brit's mouth is, Shamea, you did so well. Of course, she throws shade in the confessional, but that's what the girls do. Right. But to Shamea's face, she says, you did really well.
Right.
We find out that Cynthia was the bone carrier and
Thank you,
went and
Cynthia.
told right.
Yeah, no, thank you, Cynthia.
You know what's gaggy? Thank God for people like Cynthia, because it never even clicked to me that that information would go back just based off how Porsha was handling the situation.
Right.
Of not trying to push the issue with Shamea. So I'm like, well, we'll never know that. That'll be something that comes up at the reunion. But we'll never see that happen.
It was sitting on Shamea
Lo and
heart
behold,
because she
here
knew.
comes Cynthia doing the job.
I know.
I said, come on, Cynthia, doing the
Shut
job.
up early to carry the bone and left early to catch her flight. I know that's right.
When did she have time? So when Angela showed up, she was backstage carrying that bone.
Absolutely. Yes. In the damn dressing room.
Right. But so what gagged me about this was when she confronted her about this, Brit, ain't nothing worse when there's nothing worse when you know you did something, but you trying to act like you didn't do it, and the person that said you did it, that knows you did it, it's like not being hyped, not being extra. No. Like, but you did do that. You did say that. Like, I don't understand.
Brit ain't lying.
Brit is not lying. But let me say how there is more evidence that she's not lying is because when Brit told Porsha that at her house, Porsha said, "Oh, it wasn't my therapist. It's actually my attorney." So what that means is that she actually did show it, because the substance of the text message, Porsha says, "No, that actually wasn't to my therapist. That was to my attorney," confirming what the value of the text message was real.
Yes, you still
it
saw
was
you
real.
You still saw a proof receipt timeline in a text message. That's the point. That's the point.
So Shamea, you did do that.
You did do that.
You did do it.
You did.
Let me tell you something.
You faked that baby's sickness. That was messed up.
You think that?
Brit saying it.
Well, before we get there, so now they're going back and forth, and of course, Shamea goes low first, and basically because Brit is only telling the truth.
She is.
And Shamea says, "Well, I understand why you don't take shots, because you end up bare naked." What does that have to do with their argument? What read was that?
Flop. Yeah.
Flop. Now the pen that I'm taking out of it. Do you see how when they brought up the donations, it ate up? When Kelly brought up the donations, Brit had nothing to say.
Right.
Can we, as grown adults, can we get past the part or the point where we, like, stop shading people for being sexually promiscuous?
Yeah.
Like, I don't even want to say slut shaming, because it's just so late. We all done some stuff.
Yeah.
Girl,
that's so late to me.
Speak for yourself.
And it was just flopping even harder, because all she was doing was recycling things that everybody else had already said about Brit. Like, nothing is landing. Like, you're recycling reads from other people. And the shade, like, it just, like, didn't make no sense. Like, everything about it was such a flop to me. Like, I was like, Shamea, you're so wet.
It was such a flop. Go ahead, D.
Yeah, no, I agree with all of that, too. I mean, again, whatever the slut shaming, I feel like that's something that's just gonna still go on for forever and a time. But that's just like people stating the obvious when you're in banter with one another. They're gonna state the obvious. If your sexual history is something that's plastered out there, you have to know that somebody will and may use it against you at a time. If you get into it with them, you just have to know that is a possibility, especially if you're out there like that.
Yes, that's fine. But what I'm trying to say is just very similar to when I said when Brit was like talking about Angela and her husband cheating on her. I look at that, I view that the same way on Brit's standpoint. Okay, we all up. Okay. I did a little this, I did a little that. Ooh, you're shaking the table. Like, that's not a read. And that's why Brit was able to dog walk her, because that does not bother Brit.
Yeah.
Brit is a poser. So when you start talking about money, that's how you get Brit.
Yeah.
You don't get Brit by calling her a whore. She was a cancer girl. She don't give a...
Yeah. And girls like that
be real. That's not a read.
They've been called that. Oh, that's not a read for her. No.
That's not a read.
We already know that, because she already said that she's been called a whore since she's been in high school, and the girl's been jealous of her. So this has been going on for years. This is not, and you call her a whore is nothing. You mean nothing to her.
Facts.
Yeah. And with all that being said, I saw absolutely nothing wrong with the comment Brit made about Shamea going to Florida instead of going back home.
Okay. So thank you for saying that, Jared, because I was damn sure about to move on to the next thing, but I'm so glad you said that because that's something I want to talk about. Me talking about your parenting is not talking about your child.
No.
It's not. Like, so this whole time, she talked about my child. That's why I don't mess with Brit. She talked about my child. It even got far back that the people were saying that she talked about the child's condition. In my mind, I heard Brit saying, that's why your child can't breathe on its own. That is the level that I thought was coming. To say, well, you on camera crying. Essentially what Brit was saying was, well, was your child really sick? Because you was on camera crying. Was that really real? Because because you was back out at Miami doing X, Y, and Z taking shots. I ain't seen nothing wrong with that. After you just said I was a pill popper and calling me a whore.
Mm-hmm.
Danielle, the mother on the panel.
Fair. I mean, number one, you can't say nothing about my kids. I don't even care. That would have been an automatic fight, physical, anyway.
Well, she's talking about you as a mother, not your children.
Don't say shit about it.
Oh, well, we be fighting.
Oh, no, that's what I'm saying. So I know me personally, I don't care what you said. If you're saying something in relevance to me and my parenting, that is regarding my two birds that I got cut out of me, and you don't say shit about them. And if you do, then the consequences come.
That's like religion to me. Like when people when you get in a debate with somebody about religion and they get like very upset about it. And it's like, whoa, like you have the faith. Why are you so upset? I'm just asking questions. It's like, if you're so confident about your motherhood, if you're a phenomenal mother, like that's again, the same metric that I have about being a whore, about like you trying to throw shade at her, like where it doesn't matter. Well, how'd you get the baby?
Yeah.
The fuck? Like, how'd you get pregnant? You fucking whore. I'm kidding. But what I'm saying is like, if you are like me as this person that I just met this year, which also goes to show just how of a friend Shamea is, because you ain't known Brit like that, and you showing text messages to her about Porsha. Well, Porsha's text messages. Like you're horrible,
sloppy.
Shamea. Like
you are sloppy. You're sloppy. You're not even horrible. You're sloppy.
You literally were the girl that everybody was like, why does Shamea even put up with what Porsha be doing to her? Everybody felt that way, and now you're leaving the season with everybody looking at you like, oh, you're the friend.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's crazy.
Keep doing them lemon drops and them Henny sidecars that'll get you every time.
Listen. Now this is where the apology has to come in at to you, Jared. So when Brit had the luncheon with no lunch, you stated that you were having the tide was starting to turn for you when it came to Brit, in terms of, it's not that you were a big fan of her, but you were starting to feel like her antics were an important part and was needed for the show, essentially. Like it just was so goofy and just so extra. And had she not been there, or had she not been the type of person we would have not had that event. And I thought you were batshit crazy when you said that. But I stand corrected, because I think she's in on the joke. Ain't nowhere in the world you think we believe that you can afford a private plane, bitch. She's in on the joke, bitch. She's in on the joke.
I was like,
she is in on the joke.
Now, Jared, I almost texted you last night and said, what is wrong with this lady on the dock?
Ooh, that was so unserious.
I think it'll be good, guys. Talking about it's a nice getaway plane. A nice getaway plane, y'all.
Girl, please.
You wouldn't take that shit off the tarp. You ain't going nowhere with it. You're not going anywhere, but just cut it out. First of all, it was the whole scene and the fact that they actually wasted production coins on this scene.
I know.
What was the point? I thought they were actually going somewhere. They were alluding to the fact that they were going to purchase a jet.
Because did they ever even buy the car?
Well, they're getting the jet.
There's been a lot of incomplete transactions and purchases in the ED household.
I know. They need to finish their renovations before they do anything.
You see what I'm saying? You doing a plane. I said you doing a plane. You about to be living in it because, like I said, your foyer is covered in the tarps. It's pretty
Gagged. And so then we move on to Kelly and the kids. No notes.
Nothing.
And then we move on to Drew and Ralph. I can tell that this has really changed for me as well because I have 3 notes. It used to be Drew and Ralph next. But we basically get a conversation with Ralph, and he's basically asking, how do we get here? And I just find Ralph extremely manipulative that he's having these levels of conversation with Drew and trying to seem like he's so open and willing to compromise. Then we see how he's behaving on social media. It's just like, wow, you actually are a really bad person, or at least a narcissist. But Drew basically lets him know that she will never stop him from seeing his kids, yada yada yada. And so then we move on to Phaedra and her fake boy toy. No notes.
I was like, now how do you get over here? I was trying to figure out how he came over from Married to Medicine. I thought that was just something that they did at the sandbar. I didn't know he was still. I was like, what?
No, yeah, I couldn't take any part of this scene seriously. All I wrote down was that I want to go on a date to build a charcuterie board because I love them.
So that's it. I love charcuterie.
I was like, now that's a cute date. Yeah, other than that.
That is a very cute date.
Especially when they kissed. I really didn't need that at all.
I didn't like the feeding of the strawberry.
I'm also sick of this. The nail clipping thing.
Yeah,
it's starting to piss me off.
Yeah. Like, is she not used to them? I don't know. It's weird. Interesting.
I just don't understand why y'all like Lunchables as adults. Like, grow up.
I knew he's gonna be mad about it. That's why.
Weird to me.
Yeah.
So then we move on to Brit and her family again. Another scene with Brit where she did not bother me, where it actually was a very nice scene, where she wasn't extra, where she was likable. There was no extra foofy stuff. I decided to turn my brain off and not go too deep into things because I was like, well, y'all got married in the panorama, and you saying that they haven't even met each other like that. That's 4 years at that time, sis. But, people are busy. I give you that.
I mean, she just started back talking to her family, so.
Fair.
And that
but the mama ain't meet the mama.
What's this thing, right?
She was on a pill.
Which one? Her sister?
Shay.
Somebody was on a pill.
The crazy one.
Yeah.
She was under the influence. I
do agree, but I think that was the other sister, Brit, might need to watch out for her. She a little extra. Mike's sister, she a little too. She gives me. Even though I just said last episode, I don't think you should view this as a bad word, but
opportunistic.
She gives me a little opportunistic. Yeah, opportunistic. Like, I'm gonna ride Brit and make it seem like, oh, she's the best sister-in-law in the world.
I don't really like that lady.
Right. But good job, Brit.
Good job.
For a great scene of family.
I was just kind of floored to really see them and his family. I think I was more shocked that his family was there, not hers. To be honest with you.
We met his family first.
I don't know. It was just because we don't. He's interesting to me. He's an interesting man. So
fair. And so then we get to the Charles Oakley gala. Was the theme spaceships and chains? Like what explain to me what was happening? Like I didn't understand it. Shamea coming in like Grace Jones. Like I didn't get it. Like I was very confused. Yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot.
She thought she ate.
She always.
Well, everybody was telling her she ate.
She did. Yeah, she did. It was a corset. It was a beaded, chained corset on a gown with a hood. That really bothered me.
On Tiana Taylor with 8.
Right.
On Tiana Taylor with 8.
I didn't like the
Tiana Taylor has the energy for that. She was in costume. She didn't look like she was wearing a costume.
Yeah. But like Yeah, I didn't like that. And Phaedra's ass crack was out. I don't know if y'all saw that either.
Phaedra's back looked amazing.
Yeah, she has a great back.
Like she had a nice look. She has a great back.
Well, her shape is phenomenal.
Right. And so then so then we have okay, so then we fast forward to Angela in the, like, I guess behind the scenes in her wardrobe room or whatever the case may be. And she's basically letting us know that her and Drew met with Marcus, and basically they found out that he is a liar and that he was making up the whole story and that somebody had put him up to it. At the time, we didn't know who it was, but we all kind of came to the conclusion that it may have been Phaedra. But they're kind of like alluding to it at this point, but not really saying who it was. Prior to this, did y'all think it was Phaedra, or like who did y'all think it possibly could have been that would have set it up?
Yeah, I was kind of like with Phaedra. I didn't understand why Phaedra would just be showing up to do that. Like, it just didn't make sense. And I don't know if it still does to me, even at the end of the episode, but
that's for me, that's what I just didn't understand. And knowing the history that a dangerous rumor in her history, what that can do, I just didn't see her specifically, because this would have been the highlight of her season, technically, right? Her coming at the end, and this would have been her highlight. I just don't see her coming in and doing this storyline. It doesn't make sense. And it's not Phaedra.
Mm-hmm.
She's messy, but that's really like, it was tasteless, like and pointless, honestly.
And sloppy.
So I just don't have her down.
And she left the envelope, child.
The envelope, well, all that. So Cynthia meets Phaedra's man and says he's very cute or whatever the case may be, and says, "Oh, this must be the real Mr. Chocolate." Now, I want to drive production at this moment because I just knew that we were going to get a cutout, a flashback to Phaedra saying, "Now who is Mr. Chocolate?" Porsha arrives. She sets it down looking phenomenal. Porsha in her confessional again playing the game as most proper as she can, showing that she is a true veteran by saying, "Yeah, I know Shamea have been dogging me out, but when it comes to what the issues that I have, she's very much showing a totem pole. If her energy is great, then great. But if it's not, I'm okay with that as well. I'm still going to be positive." Just playing this to changing the complete narrative on their friendship at this point. Phenomenal. So then finally, Angela and Charles takes the stage and they start going down the list of honorees. One of them is the head of Meals on Wheels for Atlanta, which I would like to shout out because Meals on Wheels is a very, very important organization, especially when it comes to seniors. Especially what's about to happen with seniors if the spending bill goes through, because they'll be even more hungry with all these cuts. So it's a lot. So please support your Meals on Wheels local chapters wherever you live. And so then we get a surprise by Angela when she says that she is going to honor a young lady that she has recently met and that has, turned into a good. Did she say she was a good friend?
She said a good friend
of hers.
Yes, she did.
She said
a new friend. A new friend. She said a new friend.
Yeah.
Oh, a new friend. Yes, which is still a lot when that girl threatened she was going to F your husband. But okay. And I will say this: when Porsha got on that stage, Porsha has that thing that she can just turn it on. We go back to when she did the thing with Cordell. It's not perfect about far. When she did that,
she can do a performance.
She is hosting that homophobic rant that she gave when she was in church that time. Like Porsha has it on her. Like she can talk that talk. It's like all the. I've never really believed that Porsha was this dumb as she plays. Like she, it's some of it's there, but I don't think it's as what it is. She did so well with that speech. It was just such a great speech how she turned that on or whatever the case may be. But as she came off the stage, that is when she started to break down. Rightfully so. Porsha's off to the side, crying silently. A couple things that I noticed in this. Shamea, it's not about you. I'm always going to show up for her. I'm always going to be her friend. I'm always going to do this. I'm always going to do this. All these eyes. It's like, girl, like, it's literally not about you. Like, this girl is going through a lot. Shut up.
Yeah.
She irritated me this whole episode.
Yeah.
Like, it was crazy.
Yeah.
I also noticed this.
Did you guys notice, sorry to cut you off, but did you notice that she was also a little awkward in this situation? Like Brit and the other ladies and Cynthia were more huddled around her. Shamea was almost off to the corner trying to figure out where her place was in the circle of life with all this. I thought that was interesting.
In the beginning, she was, and then at the end, she was, but not in the middle. Because when she had got like right in front of her saying, no, it's fine, you can do these things. But the other part that I noticed about that was Brit was being extra with Porsha to get under Shamea's skin, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah, she was.
The way she was pulling Porsha away, like, no, I got you. Come on, I got you. And just being a very aggressive and assertive in that way to take Shamea's spot. And if you pay attention, Shamea was, in my opinion, Shamea was clocking that shit.
Oh, Shamea was pissed. But that's what I'm saying. At that point is probably when she was a little standoffish. When she was feeling that energy, because Brit was all in that lady face doing the eye underneath. She was like, I got you, baby. I got you. I was like, well, damn.
Again, kind of dragging Brit, just with her not just being as smart. She over there telling me, you still a bad bitch. Her cousin just died. I don't think she needs to hear that she's a bad bitch. Say something else, sweet girl. Like, say something else that matters. You still a bad bitch. I don't think who cares about being a bad bitch in this moment.
Right.
Read the room in your words.
Read the room.
You understand?
And so then we get to, basically the latter part of the event where everyone's sitting down. Angela brings up the guy and says that, said that it was odd that Marcus was at Kelly's event. Kelly is kind of gagged and everybody's kind of gagged like, wait, you thought it was me? And then she says, well, listen, it was at your event. And I just find it very odd that he would be there and be able to essentially do all the things that he did. And then she turns to Brit and essentially says, well, me and you weren't that great. You did cross my brain, in which thinking that you could have been behind it as well. What gags me was that I immediately believed Brit. Even in what she said, I'm a wife, I wouldn't do that. I believed her. And I don't know why I believed her in that moment. Am I crazy? Am I crazy?
Well, I also don't think she can afford to pay somebody to be showing up in the event. So,
well, I was going to say
very fair.
I was going to say to pay someone that, and I just don't think that you have the skill set to honestly create and become a mastermind of this plan. I just don't think that you have it in you. I'm sorry. I don't think you acted alone. I think I still don't think Brit has anything to do with it. But if she had, somebody would have had to have been a part of it. She didn't solely do that or take down on her own. There's no way.
Yeah.
Agreed. And for it to go even further, for him to accuse somebody else, if it really was her, I just can't. I just don't see it. But recognize it. So then Angela drops the bomb and lets them know that me and Drew have been trying to get to the bottom of it, and to let you guys know that he is here. And so Drew comes walking up with the guy. Why was Kelly being so extra? Like making all that noise about him showing up. All that did was kind of make me think like, Kelly, why are you doing all this?
I watched her body language the entire time. I thought her body language was off the entire time. Her body language, her eyes were seedy. Like she kept like looking to the side. She kept trying to read the other women's energy. And you can tell when she says the person's name, when Angela says who it is, she looks and goes, oh, almost in a point of relief. Like a small part of me was like, ooh, it's not, well, they didn't say my name, so... Yeah.
Right. So I guess Charles spotted the guy, and then Charles starts losing it. Like, he got to go, all this stuff. Angela now is on 10. And all I kept thinking about, Angela, as many things that you have said on this show that has given a lot of these women, sometimes not rightfully so, to use against you when it comes to your husband, this was the time that you didn't want to update him and let him know what was going on. It clearly showed that Charles had no idea that this was going to happen.
Oh no, Charles
was
had
so
nothing to do with this because she kept saying, "Trust me, trust me." It's like,
why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you tell
loop,
him?
especially knowing how he act? Like, you know him better than anybody.
Yes.
Why you didn't loop your enforcer husband in?
Even if it could be anybody's husband, if that happened at Kelly's event, and then you have all this little background that you want to do and investigate and figure out who said all this, and then you have him show up to y'all gala, it could have been the most docile husband known to man.
Mm-hmm.
He may not respond like that, but he's going to have a negative reaction when he sees this man again, especially when you ain't brought him up on game.
Right. I didn't know why she didn't tell him that.
So now, one of the things that I did appreciate Charles, and I was like, clearly he's been a man of means for a very long time. When he was in front of that guy and Angela put her hands on him, and he turned to her and said, "Why are you touching him?" He saw lawsuit. That's all he saw. He said he thought to himself, if this man crazy enough to do all this, why would you be putting your hands on him? Because again, Charles has no idea about any of this.
Right.
But fast forward, he ends up going back over to the girls, sits down, lets the girls know there's someone in the group that is not happy with Angela. Dramatic pause. And everybody's like, well, who? Who? And then he turns and says, Phaedra. Now, what I found really interesting was Brit immediately jumped to Phaedra's defense. Like, no, that was not Phaedra.
Yeah.
Like, that was not Phaedra.
Which gives me inkling.
Yeah. Also, so you were watching Kelly's body language. I was watching Phaedra's, and Phaedra will get noticeably shifty when some shit is about to go down, and she was not phased at all. I really don't think she saw it coming.
It wasn't Phaedra.
Mm-hmm. No.
I really believe in my heart of hearts it was not Phaedra.
Yeah.
It was not.
No, I can agree.
So, who do y'all think it was?
Kelly.
Well, I'm starting to wonder if it even happened.
So you're on Porsha's side.
But did it really?
Is that what she said?
Oh yeah.
Well, no. Let me be clear. Porsha said she thinks Angela set the whole thing up.
No, I don't think that.
Well, let's be clear. She said it was a scheme that Todd set up.
That took me out. She said, Todd, I don't know yet, but I'm like, it's your fault. That took... Okay, and then editing again. Y'all flash back to that, but y'all couldn't go to... Now, who is Mr. Chocolate? But anywho, go ahead, Jared. Yeah. You're saying you think it's who?
No, I feel like he just operated on his own accord and then tried to make a moment out of it.
I can see that. I can see that. Like, it was easy.
And like he still dropped no proof on Phaedra, and everything was so vague. And then then we got to Junebug. Like, there's an envelope, Junebug. Like, the whole explanation just didn't make no sense.
Facts. Like, it was just... I agree. I think that's a good point.
The person's name, Junebug. Cynthia. Cynthia. I was just like Cynthia. I was Cynthia and Shamea at that moment. I was trying to eat a chip, and I dropped it. Like, wait, now who is Junebug?
No, and Porsha says, "Now that's an Athens name if I ever heard one."
That took me out. When Cynthia does the which not Junebug, that be taking me out. And then it shifts to Angela and Phaedra going back and forth. Let me be the first to tell you. I've never seen a Phaedra read land so poorly ever in my life. When she's talking about, you're trying to deflect. Let's talk about your foreclosures. Angela was like, and? Like,
that ain't no tea, sis.
That was a shot?
Yeah.
Oh, chef's kiss. Chef's kiss. Angela ate that girl up. Like, she was well, that part she ate.
Yeah.
When I'm watching it, knowing that I don't believe Phaedra did it, it was like, you're kind of hitting her hard. You're whacking her.
Yeah.
And she probably doesn't deserve to be whacked.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't like that. It was a weird, I think Angela came, and it's crazy for me to say this, that she came in a little strong. I just think that I'm saying she came in strong because it wasn't a lot of solid proof. That's
Yeah.
why I'm saying
And
she went really hard.
yeah, and I feel like Phaedra was still off guard because she was so thrown off by being accused in the first
Hmm.
place.
Yes, yeah, I
It's like
truly
she
believe
wasn't even
that.
prepared to defend herself.
No,
Right.
no. Notice she was genuinely looking around when she was waiting for him to drop the bomb, and when he said
Yeah.
her name, she was fucking floored.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so it seems like, I guess bygones are gonna be bygones. There was this quick little back and forth with Shamea and Brit. They ended up leaving in again. Shamea's calling her a whore. At this time, Mike is with her and Mike. Brit is doing the same thing again. Take this mic pack off me. I don't want to be here. They leave, and then we get their little closing segment thingies, towards the end of the episode. And then we get a quick 5 months later flash
Mhm.
forward with Porsha. She's able to film in her home. We didn't really get any information about her divorce during the season. So why do I care about this status when it wasn't really a storyline the whole time? Like nobody,
Mhm. We
why
never
should we
asked about
care?
him. Yeah, we got divorced. It
So
was over.
I didn't really understand that. But yeah. So
I was just glad to finally see some of the house.
Thank God
I
she
did want
they
to see
didn't
the
talk
house.
about it enough.
Mm.
gorgeous house.
No, good house. She won
Very
that.
gorgeous
Now she
home.
got that. Good
Right.
job.
So we're going to do it in the same way that we've always done it, but this time, because it is the season finale, we're just going to pick the person that we want to calm down overall. Now, there is a part that I left out from the argument that they had, and because it was just very important to me that I need to bring this up. Angela and Phaedra are going back and forth, and she brings up, "Do you allow your children to see Apollo?" And then Kelly, who is sitting next to Phaedra, yells, "Now let's not bring no children in it." All I heard was, "But what about that baby though?"
Mm.
Kelly, shut the up.
Didn't even
You
think about that.
hypocrite. Like, you're a joke.
Mm.
You are a joke. That was so hypocritical. But anywho, but for me, the person that needs to calm down for the whole season overall, it's gonna be Shamea for me. Sweetie, you started off so strong. You were clicking, but you're clicking down. You're clicking down, delicious. It's not a good look. So sorry about that.
I might actually have to do a repeat and also go with Shamea. Shamea, your introductory season as a full-time housewife to me was a flop. Yeah, you're a lapdog. I hate your hair. I hate your fashions. There's just not much I'm enjoying about Shamea on this show. Yeah, sorry, girl.
Wow. Shamia's dead and gone now. Honestly, the person that I think, and honestly, I probably would have done Shamia had you guys not ended her already. But honestly, I'm gonna say Brit. And I'm gonna take a page from your book, Aaron. You did this, you didn't trust the process. You actually, your character development in this is the complete opposite of Shamia, where we were trying to figure out why you were even on the show. But then we understood why you were on the show in the last two episodes. But we needed that in episode 1, not episode 15. And I want you to calm down because you're suing the network, sweetie. And if you really wanted this life as housewife and reality TV, you can't sue NBC, babe. You just can't do it. You're burning bridges that you were never going to be crossing over anyway. So honestly, let this be a lesson learned. I hope you win the suit, but again, this is going to burn a couple bridges, babe. So I think you need to calm down
She
for that.
never filed it.
What?
It was an intent to sue, but she never actually filed it. So I think it's like gone at this point. Yeah.
Well, yeah, because I'm sure they have arbitration clauses in their contract. That would be crazy if you could just go to court. I highly doubt NBC Universal will allow that.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But
What a
honestly,
dummy.
but honestly, that's even more for you to calm down because you faked like you wanted to sue a network when your ass wants to renew your contract next season. So that's actually even more of you to calm down. Actually, you just pissed me off. Good night.
Fake Ferraris, fake planes, and now fake lawsuits. Poor little Tink Tink.
Yeah.
But anywho, I hope you guys enjoyed this season finale of Real Housewives of Atlanta and our review with it. What the is happening today with y'all? What the
shit? I'm actually
what
good
is
today.
happening?
I'm good today.
Oh my god. Oh, okay. Let me start that over. Like, what is happening?
You get too far.
Okay. So thank you for tuning. So that, oh my god.
I think my edible kicking in too.
Girl.
So that wraps up our review for the season finale of Real Housewives of Atlanta. I hope you enjoyed our recap here at Everybody Just Calm Down, the podcast. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Peace.
Bye, guys.